Edo State is just one of the many states in Nigeria that will eventually cave and dish out these same draconian orders to their own residents. Ondo has done it. Ondo, look at it here, is in front of you. State Executive Council in Ondo State approved it, the proposal. They sat and approved the proposal for compulsory. So if you're in Ondo State right now, your SEC has already approved the proposal for compulsory vaccination. Why? Because without it, these governments will collapse. They will not live. This is a law from above. I am only warning you, not as if there's too much we can do really, but to let you know that it has come. It is here now. The Nigerian government says it will be mandatory very soon nationwide. So what you're seeing is implementation in phases from the states. They are implementing it in phases from the states. Okay. I hope that you'll be prepared. But let me read you something so that you know that this is part of a global plan. It's not just Nigeria. It is going to go around the whole of Africa. It's going to go everywhere. Let me read you something. The caption says, Australia imposes penalties on anti-vaxxers. There is a debate over the safety of vaccinations in the United States. For much of the developed world, that comes as a surprise. Many countries like France impose stiff penalties on anyone who doesn't vaccinate their children. It's happening already in France. The same children that we're told have very strong immunity, France is now saying if you don't vaccinate your child, they impose penalties on you. It's happening everywhere. I will soon show you that almost every country in the world has caved, so that you know that this is a global agenda. For those of you who call everything you don't understand conspiracy theory, I want you to see the proof with your own eyes. You have access to the internet. Go and research and confirm everything I'm telling you today. Okay, so we read further. It says, and now Australia's government, which is conservative, has introduced a new plan called No Jab, No Pay. You heard right. No jab, no pay. It means that if you don't vaccinate, you don't get any government welfare benefits. It's a controversial plan. Almost 40,000 Australian children under 7 have not been vaccinated because their parents refuse. That means a lot of families will lose their payments. This law is going around the whole place. It's all over the world now. It's going around everywhere. It's not only Nigeria. Nigeria is even late. To prove to you that Nigeria is late, let me read you just a little bit, a few. We've talked about Australia, so let me go down to Britain. A few of the countries and the kind of stuff that they are imposing on their citizens. Listen to this. This one is Britain. It says, it will be mandatory for care home workers in England to have vaccinations from October this year. English nightclubs and other venues with large crowds will require patrons to present proof of full vaccination from the end of September. The same September. You want to go to nightclub in the UK, you want to go to attend any event, you show proof of your vaccination. The same thing Obaseki is doing in Nigeria. This is Britain. It's a web. Let's go further. Canada. Canada said on August 13th, it will soon require all federal public servants and many other workers to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Did you hear that about Nigeria? This is Canada. Okay? The vaccine mandate will also include air, train, cruise ship travelers. For you to get on a plane, on a train, on a cruise ship in Canada, you have to show proof that you've been vaccinated. So if you have exceptions, nobody cares. Just show the proof or go stay at home. British Columbia is mandating COVID-19 vaccines for all staff working in long-term care homes and assisted living facilities. Officials announced on August 12th, becoming one of the first Canadian provinces to do so. British Columbia. Okay, what about Fiji? As of August 15, unvaccinated public servants in Fiji will be forced to go on leave according to CAN. The public servants who will remain unvaccinated by November will be dismissed. So by August, they will send you home. If you still don't get vaccinated by November, you are dismissed completely. However you want to feed your family, that's your business. Let's go to Greece. Greece on July 12 made vaccination mandatory for nursing home staff with immediate effect and healthcare workers from September. As part of new measures, only vaccinated customers are allowed in bars, cinemas, theaters, and other closed spaces. In bars, in cinemas, in theaters, if you don't have vaccination, no more watching movies. Go home. Stay in your house. And it's going to keep expanding. Italy. A decree approved by the Italian government in March mandates that health workers, including pharmacists, get vaccinated. Those who refuse could be suspended without pay for the rest of the year. Malta banned visitors from entering the country from July 14 unless they were fully vaccinated, not partially. So you want to travel to Malta now and you have vaccine exceptions, it's not allowed. You must be fully, completely vaccinated before you enter Malta. Moscow. Moscow city authorities on June 16 ordered all workers with public-facing roles to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Companies were given a month to ensure at least 60% of staff had received first doses or faced fines or temporary closure. That's Moscow, and the list goes on and on. Saudi Arabia in May, Saudi Arabia mandated that all public and private sector workers wishing to attend a workplace get vaccinated without specifying when this would be implemented. U.S. President Joe Biden on July 30 urged local governments to pay people to get vaccinated and set new rules requiring federal workers to provide proof of vaccination or face regular testing, mask mandates, and travel restrictions. And it goes all the way down. Every single country on earth is webbed together in this great agenda. We know that Africa has been dealing with viruses, but I made it clear in my opening speech that we have not been able to get answers to so many pressing, troubling questions regarding the COVID-19 virus and the vaccines. Nobody is taking the time to answer these questions. And the reason I say we need answers is because for those of you who follow me very closely, you must have seen that I released a video when I was talking about the new thing in town in Nigeria where people get sick from malaria and they just die. People will be sick, come down with malaria, 2 days, they die. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of malaria is this one now? Is it still okay to call this thing that is killing people malaria? And I began to research. In my research, I stumbled on a video about Marburg virus. It was the first time I was hearing that name. And so I began to look into it. As I was still looking into it, planning to make a video to tell us what I found out, what I was suspecting, I stumbled on a video by the WHO head. The WHO head was now talking about Marburg virus as having been spotted in Guinea and is already killing people, and they have already identified a number of people who are suffering from it and stuff. I want you to please watch for yourself and see what this guy said in the video that I saw.
The Ministry of Health of Guinea informed WHO of a case of Marburg virus disease in the country's southwest in a man who died 8 days after onset of symptoms. This is the first known case of Marburg in West Africa. WHO and our partners are supporting Guinea's Ministry of Health to investigate the source of the outbreak, trace contacts, and inform the local community about how to protect themselves. About 150 contacts have been identified and are being followed up, including 3 family members and a health worker who have been identified as high-risk close contacts. Marburg is a very different virus to the one that caused COVID-19, but many of the elements of the response are the same: isolating and caring for those infected, tracing and quarantining their contacts, and engaging local communities in the response. There is no licensed vaccine for Marburg. although there are vaccines under development. And WHO is working with our partners to seek opportunities to assess them during this outbreak through the R&D blueprint for epidemics.
Okay, so let me help you unpack that. First of all, he said that the one they discovered in Guinea was the first known case of Marburg in West Africa. And I beg to differ, because the malaria that is killing people in Nigeria, which everybody agrees is not the same as COVID-19, is not going to be anything other than this Marburg. That's what I believe. So basically, if you look at it, you'll find out that Marburg is already probably very prevalent in Nigeria and not just Guinea alone. This is my thinking. It's already there. And now the WHO head is saying that this Marburg is different from the one that causes COVID-19, but the response to it is exactly the same response that is given to COVID-19 or COVID-19 patients. You have to do contact tracing of those infected. You have to isolate. Everything that they do to COVID-19 patients, they do to people who have Marburg virus. And they said also that they have not been able to get any vaccine for it. So as it is right now, there is no vaccine for the Marburg virus that kills almost faster than even the so-called COVID-19. No single vaccine for it. No cure for it. No medication. And yet Africa does not think it's okay to access our God-given talents in medicine, in naturopathic medicine, in herbal medicine, to find solutions for our people. These are typical African problems that can be solved in Africa. But we are going to wait until they tell us that a vaccine has been created for Marburg. But before the vaccine is created in Western world, the Marburg should go ahead and ravage and kill as many as possible. But Africans are meant to do nothing. Our hands are tied to our backs, and our mouths are already sealed off. Don't talk, don't act, just stay there. We will be the ones to come and give you the solution for the thing that is killing you, even though you are sitting on top of solution. That's why I was talking about those states and this compulsory vaccination that they're coming up with, the orders that they're coming up with. You do and don't do, and all the other states that we follow. My question to you guys again, because I tell you I always ask pertinent questions. My question to you guys again is this. How are you sure that most of the people that you're trying to quarantine, that you're trying to give COVID-19 vaccines, are not suffering from Marburg virus? Let me tell you a little bit about Marburg for those of you who may not understand. Let me share this video with you so you can understand clearly what the Marburg virus is and why we believe that that is what is killing people in Nigeria, people who are dying from this so-called fever every other day.
There is a stark and almost disturbing contrast between the high-tech equipment used by these health workers and the rural African setting of those they have come to protect from the ravages of the rare but deadly Marburg virus. Behind the masks, gloves and sweltering confines of the so-called astronaut suits are aid workers, doctors, virologists and epidemiologists. They've descended on the small town of Ouige in northern Angola to deal with the biggest outbreak of Marburg ever. The Marburg virus first surfaced in 1967, when lab workers experimenting with African green monkeys for polio vaccines in Marburg, Germany, as well as Frankfurt and Belgrade, got sick. One died. In 1975, it resurfaced in South Africa, when an Australian traveller en route from Zimbabwe became ill, ironically, in a town called Marburg. He died. In the 80s, there were 2 cases in Kenya, and then a major outbreak took hold in the mining town of Durban in the DRC, leaving 128 dead between 1998 and 2000.
Did you hear that? They always tell you that it is African monkey. I keep saying these African monkeys have suffered a lot. They've gone through so much. The kind of character assassination that has been meted out on African monkeys is beyond repairable. I don't know how anybody can repair it. Every time something shows up, they put it on our monkeys. Every time something happened, they put it on our chimpanzees. Though these scientists were experimenting with African green monkeys in a place called Marburg, Germany. Experimenting. Oh, so that's how we got Marburg. 1967. Showed up again 75. Look at the footprints starting from southern hemisphere of Africa and moving now. Finally, Marburg has made it to western hemisphere, to West Africa. So it didn't start today. We have always been a diseased and virus continent. Yet we have herbs everywhere. And all the time, they impose leaders on us who compel us to ignore our God-given herbal remedies and go after chemicals that will make matters worse for us. And thank God for medicine. I'm not going to stay here and say the fact that medicine has helped. Medicine is wonderful. English, modern, Western medicine has done a lot of good to humanity. But I'm telling you that there is a lot more good that our herbs in Africa could do if we deployed, if we allowed our people to take these things and use them to cure diseases that come to Africa. But nobody wants to do that because they want us to be dependent. We are not built to be independent, not medically independent, not politically independent, not even religiously independent. There must be dependency everywhere you turn on the continent of Africa. Marburg. Let's continue. Let me show you more about Marburg so that you understand that the Marburg we're dealing with is what I personally believe. It's my own belief. I personally believe is what is killing people who are suffering from malaria and dying every day in Nigeria. Let's proceed.
Malaria claims 40,000 lives a year in Angola, but with the Marburg virus, death is so much more brutal. The early symptoms include a fever, rash, headaches and sore joints. Then vomiting and diarrhea set in, until finally, as the virus moves through the system, attacking the internal organs, patients suffer massive hemorrhaging and bleed from every orifice.
Can you see that? Fever, cough, all this, isn't this the same thing that people suffered and died and are still suffering and dying in Nigeria? So Marburg, I'm not sure Guinea is the first place or the only place where it is right now. It is in Nigeria. In my own personal opinion, it's an opinion, personal opinion, I personally believe that these people who are dying, who come down with fever and die, that it is this Marburg they're suffering from. So what vaccination then are we going to give to people who are suffering from this? For those of us who want to go the way of compulsory vaccination, who don't care about religious exceptions, who don't care about medical exceptions, they just want you to have it whether you like it or not. What do we do to people who are suffering from Marburg virus? They must just die. No, sometimes I want to appeal to the conscience of our leaders, but sometimes it looks like the conscience is too seared to even admit any appeal to it. How can we do this to our own people? If people want to be vaccinated, let them get vaccinated. If people say, I don't want to be vaccinated, they should have the right not to be vaccinated. There is one thing called euthanasia, where people will say, I want to be let to die. People actually make a decision to die. If Africans or other people say, I don't want to take the vaccine, I want to die, don't they have the right to say, I want to die? No, if people are refusing to take the vaccine, you already allow them to die of hunger, and they say, allow me to die of my own medical condition. Why not let them die if they want to die? It's a decision. Where in the world is human rights again? Because now we're living in a post-truth and post-rights era. In our world, truth has become lies and lies have become truth. You don't have rights anymore. And it's showing everywhere that we're no longer going to have rights as we go forward in our lives. And so, let me close with this. There is only so much we can do. I've warned and warned several times through my channel that we were headed here, and we're here now. When you come to a place like where we are today in the world, you can do so little. But what I know deep down in my spirit is that if we who are remaining will make that decision and say to ourselves, oh God of heaven, stand by me, give me the strength, the grace to resist all resistables, and even to the point of death, that I may take that decision in good faith, knowing where I am headed. If you can do that, nobody will be able to coerce you into doing what your conscience is against. Whatever it takes. Start visiting your village. Learn how to farm. Keep gardens in your home. Go back to the farm. Learn how to fish. Learn how to live without a lot of the comfort that you have lived with for so long. I am telling you right now, psychological preparation is the greatest preparation you can give to yourself in this season. Learn how to live without. Learn how to live without. And the God of heaven will give you the grace to survive these perilous times which the Bible warned us against. I love you with all my heart, and I look forward to updating you more when I have it. Blessings.